trial of the innocent. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Now my days are swifter than a post.
Disease without them ever knowing.
The New York Times reports, quote,
they knew that this wasn't appropriate. The Surgeon General even said we couldn't do this in the United States.
We took people who were healthy and intentionally gave them this disease without them ever knowing.
The New York Times reports, quote, when some of the men failed to become infected through sex, the bacteria were poured into scrapes made on the penises or faces or even injected by spinal puncture.
In the mid-1940s, a U.S. government research team led by Dr. John Cutler conducted human experiments in Guatemala. They intentionally infected approximately 1,500 healthy Guatemalans with syphilis and gonorrhea in an experiment to test the effectiveness of penicillin on STDs. 83 people died during these experiments.
Syphilis was a major health concern, and it affected about 35% of reproductive age individuals. Treatments were iffy. They involved things like mercury, arsenic, and bismuth, which, did treat the condition to some extent, but they were equally as toxic to the individuals, so doctors were constantly weighing the harms of treatment against the quality of life of the patient. And oftentimes, treatments didn't cure. They only really lessened the symptoms. And after months of treatment, the side effects were often fatal. So naturally, there were plenty of studies that tried to find better treatments for conditions like syphilis. But with the onset of the Great Depression, funding for projects and treatment development was cut. And with funding drying up, Drs. Taliaferro Clark and Raymond Fondolea decided that it would be a good idea to study untreated syphilis for 6 months in a population of African American men to demonstrate the need for direct treatment programs, plus to, compare to the progress of untreated syphilis in white individuals. And in 1932, the study began. There were 600 total individuals involved in the study. 399 of them had been diagnosed with syphilis, and 201 of them were not diagnosed with syphilis, and they were used as a control group. Men were given periodic treatments for quote-unquote bad blood, which was